we'll be joined by Brad Galloway, a reformed skinhead who's now a researcher with the Center on Hate, Bias, and Extremism. We'll be joined also by Sarah Teach from the MacDonald Laurier Institute and Adnan Khan, contributing editor of Maclean's. Thank you all so much for joining me today. Now, Mr. Galloway, I'd like to start with you. Your story's fascinating to me. Can you tell me how you ended up joining and then leaving the white extremist movement?
I think to sum it up quickly, I was a young person in a vulnerable state in my life, my late teens, and I had met a friend who had joined up with these groups already, and he told me a story. I was interested in the music and the subculture idea of it, not necessarily the ideology at first, but that sort of came afterwards, and that's sort of how that recruitment piece worked. But I think it was based on this trust relationship with this individual, and then it became sort of a brotherhood of sorts, the sense of belonging in this group, and then it sort of led one thing to another. I became more and more involved, and ended up leaving after about 13 years.
And how did you end up leaving?
So it was, again, they often talk about how radicalization happens, de-radicalization, or this disengagement and de-radicalization processes sort of happen with some of the same things happening over again, except for back to positivity or positive circles. So I had my wife helping me out to try to decide to leave this group. I had a child. I also started really doing introspection of myself and where these movements were going to take me, and what they were doing to communities, things like that, as a wider idea. And then I started to look back on compassion from people I didn't think that I deserved to get compassion from when I was inside of those groups. And there's so many examples of that through my career, which was often working in very public places in Canada in the security field. And I just started to reflect upon a lot of those things, and then connecting all these things together. It was definitely a choice that had to be made and move on. And then I ended up looking at ways to use my experiences to help others lead them towards the same decision to leave.
So now the work that you're doing with your organization, you're helping to facilitate other people leaving this movement.
Yeah, so at the Center on Hate, Bias, and Extremism, we do research and we do more outreach kind of stuff. But I also work with Life After Hate, which is an organization which directly looks at helping individuals leave far-right groups in Canada, United States, and internationally.
Now, that's incredible work that you're doing, and an incredible experience that you seem to have had. When we come back from this commercial break, I want to ask you all about your views on how the use of a terrorist designation for some of these extremist groups could impact getting people to leave these communities. We'll be right back after these messages.